If you look at modern society, we treat lifelong monogamy, marrying one person and staying sexually and emotionally exclusive to them for 50 years, as the absolute gold standard of human relationships. We build our laws, our tax systems, and our fairy tales around it. Yet, at the same time, we have divorce rates hovering around 50%, an epidemic of infidelity, and a multi-billion-dollar dating app industry built on our constant, restless desire to swipe for someone new. Why is staying with one person so incredibly hard? Is it just a moral failing? Or are we trying to force our bodies into a relationship model that our ancient biology never actually designed us for? For decades, anthropologists, priests, and philosophers have argued about the true nature of human mating. On one side, you have people claiming we are naturally polygamous, wild apes who were only tamed by the invention of marriage. On the other side, you have those who argue we are deeply monogamous creatures, biologically built to find a single soulmate and mate for life. To find the true answer, we don't have to guess. We just have to look at the raw, physical clues hidden inside our own bodies. By comparing human anatomy to our closest primate relatives, our bodies tell a highly clear and highly surprising story about how our ancestors actually mated. And it turns out that the way we love, cheat, and commit today is a direct result of a biological compromise made millions of years ago. To understand what our bodies were built for, we have to start by looking at our primate cousins. In the animal kingdom, there is a direct, unbreakable link between a species' mating system and its physical anatomy. If you want to know how a mammal mates, you don't look at its behavior, you look at its bones. And the first anatomical clue we have to analyze is something called sexual dimorphism, the physical size difference between males and females of the same species. Let's start with the gorilla. Gorillas practice extreme polygyny. A single, powerful silverback male controls a harem of multiple females, and he has to physically fight off other males to keep them. Because the competition is purely physical, evolution heavily favored the largest, strongest males. As a result, male gorillas are massive, nearly twice the size of females, and they possess enormous, lethal canine teeth. Now, let's look at the gibbon. Gibbons are strictly, fiercely monogamous. They form a pair bond, establish a territory, and spend their entire lives with one partner. Because gibbon males do not have to fight other males for a harem, there is no evolutionary advantage to being larger. Consequently, male and female gibbons are identical in body size and look completely indistinguishable. So, where do humans fit on this spectrum? We are not identical like gibbons, but we are nowhere near as different as gorillas. On average, human males are about 15% larger and stronger than human females. This moderate size difference tells us something incredibly important. It proves that our ancestors were never strictly monogamous like gibbons, but they were also never harem-building polygamous apes like gorillas. Our bones place us squarely in the middle. We are a mildly polygynous species. Millions of years ago, male-male competition existed, but it was moderate. But our bones only tell half the story. To find the next clue, we have to look at our internal anatomy. Specifically, we have to look at testicle size. In biology, testicular volume is a direct indicator of a species' level of female promiscuity. It all comes down to a concept called sperm competition. Consider the chimpanzee. Female chimps live in large, multi-male groups, and when they go into heat, they will mate with multiple different males in rapid succession. This means a male chimp doesn't win by physically fighting other males. He wins at a microscopic level. The male who produces the largest volume of high-quality sperm has the highest chance of fertilizing the egg. To support this brutal, microscopic race, male chimps evolved massive testicles relative to their body size. Now, look at the gorilla again. A silverback gorilla has a harem of females who are completely exclusive to him. He faces zero sperm competition. Because of this, male gorillas have tiny testicles, smaller than a human's, despite weighing 400 pounds. Once again, humans are the bizarre middle child. Human testicles are significantly larger than a gorilla's, but they are a fraction of the size of a chimpanzee's. This tells us that our evolutionary past was not a non-stop, promiscuous free-for-all like the chimps, but it also wasn't a completely exclusive, locked-down harem like the gorillas. Our ancestors practiced a system where females occasionally mated with different males, creating a moderate amount of sperm competition, but it was far from the norm. So, if we aren't built for chimpanzee-style promiscuity, and we aren't built for gorilla-style harems, and we aren't built for gibbon-style lifetime monogamy, what on earth are we designed for? The answer lies in our uniquely helpless babies. To understand why, we have to look at why human babies are born so uniquely premature and defenseless. It was the biological price we paid for walking upright and growing massive brains. Because a human infant takes nearly a decade to become even remotely self-sufficient, raising a child to survival age was an impossibly high energy sink for an ancient mother to handle alone. A single mother foraging in the savannah could not physically carry a heavy growing child, gather enough calories, and protect herself from predators without help. To solve this, our ancestors did something incredibly rare for mammals. They developed pair bonding. We evolved deep neurological pathways for romantic love. Our brains became wired to release massive floods of dopamine, oxytocin, and vasopressin when we find a partner. This chemical cocktail is designed to create an intense, addictive emotional bond between a male and a female. But this bond wasn't designed to last for 50 years. It was designed to last just long enough to keep the parents together through the child's most vulnerable years. In evolutionary psychology, this is known as the 4-year itch. Anthropological data across hundreds of cultures shows that divorces and relationship breakups peak dramatically around the 4-year mark. This isn't a modern coincidence. In the wild, 4 years is exactly how long it took for a child to be weaned, start walking, and be integrated into the larger cooperative tribe where they could be protected by alloparents. Once the child was out of immediate danger, the biological necessity for the parents to stay strictly bonded dissolved, and their ancient brains began looking for new genetic diversity. This means humans are not built for lifetime monogamy. We are built for serial monogamy. We are designed to form intense, exclusive, long-term romantic bonds, raise a child through infancy, and then, eventually, feel our biological drives pull us toward new partners to maximize genetic variation. And this explains the modern tragedy of human relationships. We live in a society that expects us to find one person who will satisfy our emotional, physical, financial, and sexual needs for half a century, inside an isolated nuclear family. But biologically, we are cooperative breeders who evolved to raise children in a village, and serial pair bonders whose chemistry is wired to shift over time. We aren't failing at monogamy because we are broken. We are struggling with it because we have built a relationship structure that demands absolute, lifetime exclusivity from a species that evolved to be flexible. Understanding our biology doesn't excuse cheating, and it doesn't mean lifetime relationships are impossible. But it does show us that staying with one person for a lifetime is not a natural default. It is an active, daily choice that goes against millions of years of evolutionary history. We are carrying the desires of a wild, serially bonding ape into a civilized world. And the friction we feel is just the price of being human. And if you want to understand how those ancient serial pair bonders actually managed to keep those fragile, screaming babies alive inside the village once they were born, click the video on your screen right now.